Winter weather headed our way in the near future. It's important that you're prepared for some potentially rough conditions. Our Abby Lester brings us more on how to make sure that you are ready.
January is one of the coldest months of the year in the two Virginias, and before a winter storm hits, you want to be ready. When preparing your car, you want to check and make sure your wipers are properly working and that you're not out of antifreeze or windshield wiper fluid. Tire pressure and the actual quality of your tires are very important as well, but that is not all. Mercer County's Emergency Management Director tells us there's still more to do.
So above and beyond just vehicle maintenance, we always suggest people keep an emergency kit in their vehicle. Both one for the summer, and then as winter approaches, you can change some stuff in that kit, obviously, to be more appropriate for winter.
In the emergency kit, Gano tells us you should pack supplies to help you gain traction in snowy conditions, whether it's kitty litter, salt, or ice melt. Blankets, clothes, snacks, and especially a shovel are all very important as well.
Some folks say, well, I didn't need a shovel. Well, if you end up out here on the side of the road stuck somewhere in a deep snow and you don't have cell phone signal and you're stuck there, you need to keep the snow from building up around the exhaust pipe of the vehicle so it doesn't back carbon monoxide up in the vehicle.
And if you must travel, go at a slow and cautious pace in winter conditions.
We always suggest, look, if you have to be out, obviously, for your job, just be careful. Use common sense. Make sure your vehicle's prepped and ready. Make sure you have the emergency kit, your cell phone's charged up.
If you do decide to stay at home and off the roads, power outages are still a concern. As such, Gano says you should have a game plan for heating. When using space heaters, you want to make sure to provide a 3-foot clearance. Make sure chimneys are clear, and generators need to be plugged up properly with a heavy extension cord away from any air intakes and a safe distance from the house.
But the placement of the generator is important. They don't need to have that generator in the basement or underneath a porch or anywhere close enough to the house that it can pull that exhaust fumes back into the home, because then they're creating a carbon monoxide issue.
And due to the increase in house fires this time of year, Gano stresses the importance of working smoke detectors and carbon monoxide monitors in your home. Here for you in Princeton, I'm Abby Lester, WVVA News.
Now again, Gano really is making sure to stress the importance of having those working smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors in your homes, and you should test them as well, even if you already have them inside.